his judgment according to law and justice. The pain suffered by the Zamfara people wherein about the local government there was no election being conducted, Maradu local government, part of 4 wards of Birimagaji and part of Bukuyolo play unit. Today this court has taken that bold step and confirmed that the election of Zamfara state governorship was inconclusive. To that extent, the result the respondent brought was also held that they mutilated, not aside by any of the agent or the party agent. And the court has ordered for a rerun in these areas and all those polling units where there was no election or where there was no proper election for issue of failure for non-compliance with the Electoral Act. Today, the people of Zamfara State will now go back home to sleep well and go and prepare for a rerun election in those areas that have issues with the electoral system. So finally we said, Alhamdulillah, and we pray for peace to reign in the entire state of Zamfara State.
Welcome back. So now we've got Yusuf Idris, who is the Publicity Secretary of APC in Zamfara State. Good morning and thank you for coming on today.
Good morning.
Okay, just running through what transpired in the courts yesterday for the Zamfara governorship election. The court did order INEC to conduct fresh election in 3 local government areas of the state where the court said election had not been held previously or where results from various polling units were not counted. Secondly, local governments, which here named Maradu, Berlin Magaji, and Bukuyum, 3 local government areas. And then the court also says that it was wrong for INEC to rely on information it obtained from its INEC result viewing portal. That's a famous IREF portal to collate the final results of the governorship elections. We thought those slides were going to come up. Okay, so that's just a highlight of some of the key scenarios that came through yesterday. So for you, your party, you must have been happy with this.
Really?
Okay, so give us the background, because I mean, the PDP definitely will equally just respond to this one, but could you explain to us how you think this is valid, of course?
The APC in Zamfara State filed a petition at the Election Petition Tribunal, earlier held in Sokoto, and the tribunal we felt it's not just trust because the initial result of Baradi local government, APC won with 98,000 baht. During the collation of the result, the INEC, in collaborations with other military personnel then, who are not happy with the participations of the former governor in the Naira Swap litigations, connived and changed the results and copy a result from, as they claimed, they copy a result from IREF and make a formal declaration of the governor. So we feel it's wrong, it's unconstitutional, and it's a total violation of the Electoral Act. That is why we approached court for justice and in order to have our ballot votes as cast by our electorates who have given us the mandate.
What part of the Electoral Act did you think it violated?
The violations of the elections, of the gubernatorial elections. That is why from Maradu local government.
No, I mean, what part of the Electoral Act? When you say it violates the Electoral Act.
Violates. That is copying a result saying not to comply with the collation of results from the real elections officials, meaning the collating officer of the local government who is responsible and is being guided by the Electoral Act. The IRF, as said by the INEC, is just for convenience. It's not for collection results. It's not to collect results, the IRF. So when the results came in Morado local government area, the resident electoral commissioner, that is Professor Barbara and others, hides, I don't know, how can I put this? Maybe they kidnapped the electoral officer of Morado local government and take him to one room and hide him.
Did that happen?
Yes, that's what I'm telling you. What exactly happened?
You said that happened. I thought you said maybe.
No, it's happened, not maybe.
They kidnapped They
kidnapped him inside an office.
Who kidnapped him?
The resident electoral commissioner along with the security personnel then.
Was it reported to the police?
It was reported. We make it clear to everybody. We make an announcement to the world. This is what is happening at the time. And when they change the result, we make an announcement. And something very embarrassing is that the electoral commissioner of the state, Professor Barbara, called all political parties in the afternoon, telling us that we are going back in Birimagaji local government to conclude the 4 wards remaining elections the following day. And we are surprised at 3 a.m. they declared the result after holding the meeting with all political parties.
I didn't see anywhere where the court talked about changing results. You said they changed results and you complained.
Yes, that's what we filed.
That
is why the court says the Morado local government. Maybe the reporter in the court did not report it clearly. The presiding judges at the Court of Appeal says because the result of the Morado local government is totally mutilated. That is why they will not see, because the result is a duplicate copy. It's not the real original copy that was seized.
Did the court use the word change results?
They said the result is being mutilated. The 98,000 votes.
The court didn't say change results. So our correspondent could not have reported what
that is why the court says we should go back for rerun in the Morado local government and the remaining local government where elections don't hold.
So those are two different things.
Yes.
They didn't hold.
Yes.
And not that they changed that result.
The Morado local government, that is what we are challenging in the court. The result is being changed. It's not the result brought by the collecting officer.
So where was it that they relied on information obtained from INEC result viewing portal to collect the final results?
That is what the INEC said during their presentation in the court. But what we are challenging the ballot board cast and the result brought to the INEC by the collecting officer who is being assigned by the INEC. That is Dr. Kainwa.
This is not the Supreme Court, though. I mean, what if the governor decides to challenge this particular verdict?
We're expecting him to challenge it.
You're expecting him to challenge it?
Yeah.
Okay. Because we do know, I mean, there are 2 places now, confirmed to us, the 2 places where elections did not hold are Birnin Magaji and Bukuyum. Is that correct?
Yes.
So elections did not hold in these 2 local governments?
Yes.
Not
all. Not all the local governments. Understand?
Not the whole of the local government?
Yes.
Okay, maybe a few wards. Okay. How many wards?
In Birimagaji local government is 4 wards.
4 wards?
Yeah.
In Bukuyum?
I think it's 3.
3 wards.
Yeah.
And these wards, do they amount to having 65,750?
It's more than, I think.
It's more than?
Yeah.
When you look at the number of registered voters. Okay.
Yeah.
So as I'm wondering, when the court is talking about the INEC results viewing portal, oftentimes we know that what the Electoral Commission has said is that if there is disparity in terms of what they're seeing on the results sheets and what they're seeing in BVAS and what they're also seeing online, they will most likely resort to the information on the BVAS and also the portal, not exactly the result sheet.
No, the INEC guidelines of the election 2022 as amended, no result collation from IRF or BVAS. The area of collecting a result is the result written from the source from the electorate. That is from the polling unit to transmit to the ward level, from ward level to be transmitted to the local government level, from local government level to be transmitted to the state headquarters of the INEC. that is why the result is valid.
That's not what I remember INEC officials telling us. They told us that the beavers will be used, that they will use the beavers, and that's part of their guidelines, that they will use the beavers to double check if there's any disparity or there is any variation from what has been recorded on the result sheet and what is in the beavers.
That one does not give them a power to change a result brought from the local government or from the ward level or from the polling unit. They don't have that power constitutionally.
Yes, but I mean, when you look at the fact that we spend so much money on these technologies to safeguard our elections, are you not concerned that sometimes, and this is Zamfara right now, this might be in your favor, this particular ruling might be in your favor, but when you look at the entire process in general, and you say, oh, we shouldn't look at what has happened on IREV, or we should ignore what has happened on the beavers, and the only thing we should look at is from AC8A as a result sheet, and even the other result sheets from the ward center, the local government, as the case might be. Don't you think that it could be subject to manipulation that can also affect you negatively in future if there is no backup to ensure that what exactly happens in the polling unit is what is reported at the collation
center? I think what we're supposed to do is always to support justice and do the right things during the election and even after the elections. We should not go contrary to the law of the land so that it's just for our own convenience and others. The IREF provided by the INEC is for its convenience. It's not provided in the law of the INEC.
It's not for its own convenience. It's for all of our own convenience.
I'm saying, no.
It's for all of our convenience. You not agree?
No, madam.
That
I disagree with you.
The fact that you, as a politician and as a member of a political party and just a Nigerian, can log on to to the IREF portal and see what has transpired in any local government, in any polling unit. You don't think that is for your own convenience as well?
The reason why I'm telling you this, when you log into IREF results sometime, you see a result of Imo State into Zamfara State. You will find it because it's not properly arranged and coordinated to conduct the elections. But you find in the IREF results, you find many state results into another state.
So while there are problems, just a moment, Chamberlain, while there are problems, you made very serious allegations that the security and the INEC officials were not neutral in the elections in Zamfara State. And you said, oh, it was because the governor was involved in the currency. What did you say now? Was the currency problems?
Not the currency problem, redesign policy.
The redesign policy.
When they have decided to take the federal government to court to challenge the legality of Naira swap at that time, without giving Nigerians a chance to do the right things while changing currency in a country. You cannot just in a day wake up and tell citizens that the currency, the ballot tenders were ceased to be valid. Just a day, without making it going in and out to the bank so that any amount going to the bank to be seized until when the Naira circulation is over. So the governor challenged it along with other governors.
Indeed. So why do you think that he is the only one that was singled out for punishment?
He is not the only one. He is not the only one. I can tell you, a senior minister then called him on phone that your actions, you are going to receive the repercussion of it.
So he was sent antagonistic. And secondly, just a moment. Are you saying then that he was sent antagonistic INEC officials and antagonistic security officials? Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. The military were deployed from Abuja and Kaduna personally for them to rig the election. It's not an issue of PDP and APC in Zamfara State then. It was Governor Matawale and the cabals then.
You're aware of the implications of what it is that you're saying?
It's not an implication. We have the fact. We have the record. We made petitions at various stages.
Sorry, I don't understand that. Did you say Governor Matawale deployed military? I'm sorry, could you make
Not Matawale. You don't understand. Listen to me carefully. I said military were deployed just to trick out Governor Matawale during the 2023 18th March elections.
And President Buhari was commander-in-chief.
Buhari was the commander-in-chief then.
And it was an APC.
He was an APC.
And he allowed that to happen.
I don't know that he's aware or he's not, but the cabals, the military stations at the INEC headquarters were directly communicating with the 10th Brigade of Guard.
But I see, just checking on, you see, it was widely reported at the time, during that election, that the coalition officer of the Maradun local government area was abducted and kept in government house. He was forced to change figures, and when he was eventually released, he refused to use the results given to him, and that was why they relied on IREF.
This is just a report. What really happened, he is the same person went to the tribunal and testified that the result he brought from Maradun local government is the correct result that he collected from Maradun local governments submitted from the ward collection officers.
So you heard the time that he was abducted. Was he abducted?
He was not abducted.
Was he taken to government house?
He was not taken to government house.
So you're saying he was...
He was abducted at the INEC headquarters. He made a pronouncement while declaring the result, that the result is not the result he brought. He was under duress and the INEC officials. He made it categorically clear at the INEC headquarters in Gusau.
Okay, I think we'll have Honorable Mokhtar Luga, who is the, I hope he can hear us. He's Chief of Staff to Zamfara State Government. He's also Chairman of the PDP in Zamfara State. Honorable Luga, good morning. Can you hear us?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, so I don't know what part of this interview you've been able to hear so far, but at least you know of the court's decision that elections, not the 3 local government areas where election results from other polling units were not counted, and the court holding that it was wrong for INEC to rely on results obtained from IREV. I mean, we've heard Mr. Idris here say that results were mutilated, and so figures were changed. INEC officials were abducted. Military was brought in to rig out Governor Matawale. So how do you respond to this?
Well, I haven't heard Idris's contribution to the program, but going by antecedents, I'm not surprised to any allegation he will make. Now, these are with the allegations. I have questioned him several times that it is very, very unprofessional and it is highly irresponsible for any party or any individual to claim that military has been used in an election. I mean, he should know, perhaps now, that the military cannot be dragged into something like this. So I think these are weighty allegations, and he should be very mindful of what he's saying. Of course, it is not true. The integrity of the Nigerian army cannot be questioned. We respect their professionalism, and it is not within our purview.
Yeah, so concerning Maradun local government area, because if I recall what he said too, that the coalition officer was abducted by your agents, a person sympathetic to your party, and that results, he was forced to, I think those were your words, that results were mutilated, and then he was forced to give contrary results. Did you hear that? Okay, we'll try and get his connection back. He's appeared to have frozen now. But Mr. Yusuf, what he said, that you trying to drag the military in, you leave people open to this suggestion that, okay, if you're saying or alleging that that's what happened, it means that, it could mean that now that Governor Matawale, the former governor, is Minister of State for Defense here, so he too now is going to use, quote unquote, the military for this next elections and rig the PDP out.
That's your perception.
No, I'm not saying it's my perception. I'm saying you made an allegation, people could interpret it as that.
What I'm saying, the Nigerian military has an integrity, but some unpatriotic soldiers were used.
But he's Minister of State for Defense.
That is now.
What's the guarantee that he will do the same thing that you're alleging now?
Not then.
Because tomorrow...
He is now the Minister of Defense.
Yeah, but tomorrow somebody will allege this too.
When he was rigged out, he was the governor of Zamfara State. He was not the Minister of Defense.
All right, but now that he is.
And he is not in control of the military.
Oh.
You understand?
So he's not part of the cabal now?
He is not. He's just a Minister of State. Yes, a senior minister in the ministry.
But of course, you know that naturally people will think that, well, if he's Minister of State, Defense, chances are that he might want to pull a string or two to win the election.
See, it's not an issue of using military. Some of the military used them. I don't patriotic some of them. But I'm telling you, the brigade commander then was stripped his powers. His power was stripped. Somebody commanding the military in Zamfara from Abuja. We were all sent away from the collection center. The Senator Kabiru Maraba was sent away. A military telling him, if you not leave this place, we are going to shoot you.
But if you look
Senator Sabia was asked to leave the place.
If you look at the results, while we try to get Honorable Luga back, but look at all that results. Are you telling us now that result that was declared by INEC, and if you look at the margin of that result, those results, what percentage or what fraction of that result would you say was not correct?
What we are saying,
because it's
the result in Zamfara State. If we are going to write a petition in all the local governments, people who are sent away from their polling units, from collection centers, by security agencies. Some results were even changed. A state constituency of many of the state constituencies of the state assembly, the results were changed immediately before the declaration. After winning the election, an APC candidate will win the election, and the result will be changed and make a different announcement.
Well, that's not what the court ruled on here. So
we did not file it.
You didn't file it.
We don't file it. What we are saying here?
Why won't you file it if you felt strongly about it?
We won the election. You understand? We won the election. Inside the 14 local governments, 13 local governments were declared will not challenge it. One local government where we...
Wait, I don't understand. Well, why is it that you have facts and you won't file it?
See, we filed, everybody is filing within his jurisdictions. All the state assembly members files their petitions differently. We cannot join governorship elections with the state assembly or national assembly. Okay. It's been filed in different stages.
Well, Ayo, my colleague, has got some questions for you as well.
First of all, concerning the results that Chamberlain has been and Malkwe have been asking you about, it's also been reported in the media that some elections in Zamfara were cancelled. At least here we said that INEC cancelled 8 polling units in Zamfara state. As of course you know that it is due to some form of violence or insecurity that happened. Listed Unit 18, Unit 57, Unit 43, Unit 64, Unit 12, and a number of others like that. Are these part of the polls that you are contesting in court?
I'm not hearing you clear.
Can you hear me better now?
It's scratching.
Okay. Okay, can you hear me? I'm pretty sure that my people were already working on that. I'm asking that INEC cancelled some elections in Zamfara State, part of the governorship elections in Zamfara State during the election in February. Are these part of the results that you are contesting?
We contest some of the polling units cancelled by the INEC.
You are, yeah, I can hear you, but you are aware that the reason INEC would cancel is because of insecurity or violence, and it is part of their guidelines.
The INEC, before the conduction of the 2023 general elections, INEC released the states and the areas where there is no security, where election will not hold. Zamfara State were excluded from where areas expected election may not hold. So we don't expect INEC to say they cancel a polling unit or award elections because of insecurity. The results are the released materials are there. You can search on the Google and see. how INEC released then before the conduct of the 2023 general election.
Incidentally, one of the areas where the election was cancelled by INEC was the place where the governorship candidate of the PDP cast his vote. And as soon as it was done, political thugs invaded the polling unit, according to reports, where it was discovered that all the voting materials were destroyed by the suspects. You don't think that is ground for cancellation by INEC?
Well, INEC can consider it is because of any violence to cancel an election or a polling unit. But in some areas, the law says that even when you cancel an election into a polling unit because of a crisis or violence or anything else, the election should be rescheduled for another day so that the other people may not feel disenfranchised from exercising their civic rights of voting their candidate of their wish.
Essentially, you are saying that INEC should change the rule of the game because of your candidate. Is that what you're saying?
INEC to change the rules because of my candidate. Well, maybe you are not hearing me clearly.
Go ahead, I can hear you loud.
I said the laws provided that when election is being cancelled for a particular polling unit, for violence or any other things that might happen during the conduct of the elections, there is a provision in the Electoral Act that election should be rescheduled maybe the following day to conduct similar exercise so that to come out with authentic results of that polling unit.
All right, let's go back to the Chief of Staff. Well, again, we appreciate your joining us this morning. What part of I don't know if you've listened to any part of the conversation we've had so far, but let me perhaps begin by asking you, because we couldn't really get that from you the other time. How is your party reacting to the ruling of the court?
Well, thank you for having me on the program. Like I started saying, honestly, yesterday, this ruling came as a shock. We were surprised at the turn of events, but as believers, we are also thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the favors He has done on us. We have been through difficult times. We are a party that is very resilient, so we don't feel this is a problem. Like I said, we have confidence in the judiciary. This is not a new thing that has happened. I mean, this has been an ongoing debate even during the election. On the eve of the announcement, this issue came up, and it was clear why the results, why Zulmi was cancelled, the Brennan Magaji was cancelled because of insecurity. We challenged the results that were returned on Maradon local government because it was to us, unheard of for you to have more votes than the people that actually were registered at Maradon local government. So the ruling from INEC was out of facts, which the Supreme Court now, the appeal court now has cancelled. We are very confident. We don't have any issue with that. We know what our choices are. So basically, I don't think there's anything to worry about. We have been through an election. We have won an election fair and square. So even whatever the options are, depending on the decision of the party, which is maybe to go to the Supreme Court and maybe to go for another election, we are ready for it. I mean, there's really nothing. Our party is still popular. Our candidate is still popular. So I don't know why, it seems as if we're fighting. It's not about party. It's about the people of the state. They deserve good governance, and that is what we're giving them. So if we can be able to win an election while we're not in the government, to uproot an income.
Oh dear. So back to the same place. Well, okay, Mr. Guzo, let me ask you this. These areas that you were talking about the other time, let me ask you, what, in your perspective, in the perspective of your party, informed the decision of INEC to declare the results and declare a winner, given these facts that you mentioned? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. I said, in your opinion, what could have informed INEC's decision to declare the results and declare a winner despite these facts that you said INEC should know?
In my own personal opinion, the INEC sends the leader of the INEC, that is the Professor Barbara, and the other management staff. Then maybe they were threatened, or maybe asked or directed, because the Professor Barbara is the person who invited all the political parties which are in attendance, that we are going back the following day to conclude the Birnin Magaji elections. And we were surprised we heard him in the night declare a result. Maybe, you know, the issue in Zamfara is quite different with other states. The election in Zamfara state, especially the governorship, there is a lot of interest from Abuja, which make them to plan different plans A, B, C, D on how to ensure that the governor is being rigged out from office for their own personal interest, or I don't know how I can put it. Maybe that is my own perspective.
Okay, well, another question that follows that perhaps is that all these results, no matter what is declared at the collation center, must have come from a particular polling unit. So do you have the evidence? I mean, you were telling my colleague Marco the other time that you have some evidences and all. Did your representatives at the polling units sign the polling unit results that were collated?
We have provided all the results hit from polling unit, ward level, up to the local government level. That is what we presented before the Election Petition Tribunal.
The question I'm asking is, did your representatives sign? Did the representatives of your party, did they sign on those result sheets that you are presenting as evidence?
All the results, all the duplicate copies are provided by our party agents at the polling booths, at the ward collations, and the local government collations. We have a duplicate copy of each, and is what we have presented before the Election Petition Tribunal in Sokoto. That is what we later transmitted the same to the appeal courts in Abuja.
I'm not sure you're answering my question. Did your representatives, the APC representatives at the polling units, did they sign to validate the results as true copies?
Not only our party agent, even other political parties signed the duplicate copies, the result, from the polling unit up to the ward level to the local government level.
So essentially,
the result was signed.
Yeah, essentially
by other political, not only our political, not only our agent.
Okay, because the reason, of course, no other party is here. You are the only one that is here. Do you do realize the meaning of your representatives signing the polling units, the polling results, right?
Yeah. That is why we decided to challenge the declaration of the governor at the court, at the appropriate court that is being provided by the Election Petition Tribunal to challenge the declaration of the governor.
If your representatives signed that the results at the polling units were the very results, then doesn't that authenticate that everything that happened at the polling units your party agreed with?
Any party agent is our agent. We, as a political party, assign him to stand on our behalf. So whatever brought from the polling unit by a party agent is what we are going to work with, because he is our representative at the polling unit.
Colleagues will take it from here, but just one last question that I want to ask you. Now, part of what you were telling Mark the other time in your response is that, you know, you are challenging results in certain areas and all. These areas that are being disputed, did elections hold there at all, or the elections just didn't hold in certain places?
There is in Birimagaji local government, the election did not hold in 4 wards. In Bukim local government, the elections were held, but the results were not announced and collated. In Maradun local government, the election holds, the results were collected, but later been mutilated and changed to another number. That's what we're challenging.
Okay, I'd like you to take a look at this. Honorable Luga, just hold on a minute as well. We're trying to ensure that the connection is good enough, but we'd like both of you to listen to this video, also because we'd like to get your response on this video as well.
Starting from the very time I started collecting until the time we decided to move from Maradun to South as a result of insecurity and allegations presented by APC agent. I asked the EO to contact the Honorable Commissioner to guide us on the way out. Then they concluded that we moved everything from Maradun to the INEC helicopter in order to finish our collation. On our way, we were stopped by other security personnel. Before we moved Maradun, we had to invite DSL force, who invite the armored tank, the soldiers, and the DPO deploy his policemen, and all the security personnel in order to reach Kosovo safely. To our expectation, if we see armored tank or many security personnel surrounding us, we must have rest of mind. But surprisingly, when we reach that bridge from Maradun, after Maradun, we were stopped by other security personnel. It took them more than 1.5 hours exchanging views. We don't know what they were saying actually, but we were there until when we were asked to move to, or with those security personnel, myself, my regional officer, Maradun 1, Dr. Abbas Saniraheru, Maradun 2, Dr. Bashir, electoral officer, and the 5 collation officers. Actually, I collated the result I presented to INEC from those collation officers because I am not the one collating the result from the polling unit to the one. My order is only to sit down to collect from them, and that's what I did. When I calculated and sum of everything, I presented the result to INEC. And after that, we came to realize that there is a lot of differences and discrepancies between my result and the one in the server. That was why INEC decided to download the one in the server so that I will use it to present.
You heard him there. Ahmed Kainua, Maradun Local Government Area Coalition Officer.
Yeah.
So he was explaining why they had to rely on, go to the server, and then do what they did because they tried to abduct him, stop him from announcing the original results. This is contrary to what you were saying.
He is confirming my statement.
No, he says that because we have a longer version because of the time where he was alleging that. What statement is he confirming?
he is confirming what I said.
Which is?
I said the results were changed. He confirmed it. He said the APC make a complaint. He is making the statement before declaring the result. He said it's not the result he brought from the Maradu local government. He said he was at the collation center in Maradu local government. He was, all the results were brought from the ward collation officers. He entered into his form, the collection form that is.
Did he say why he relied on the server to announce the Maradu results?
He said the INEC officials at the headquarters says there was a discrepancy between his results and the one at the server.
So what did he say about why they had to rely on the server?
He said the INEC commissioner and the other officials asked him to change because they discovered discrepancies. They were not the court. They were not entitled to change any result.
So relying on the server, because he didn't announce the results they were trying to force him to announce, did he?
No, not force him. He said he brought the result from Maradu local government in company with military and heavy security personnel. Let's get
Honorable Lugar's version of what he thinks of this matter, because that's part of the result in contention right now. Honorable Lugar, you're aware of the allegations made by the coalition officer for Maradu. So Mr. Yusuf is alleging that, it was persons sympathetic to your party that prevented him or tried to force him to announce the contrary results.
I understand. I hear Mala Yusuf loud and clear. And like I said, I am not really surprised about all these allegations they're churning out. But I don't even know what Yusuf is trying to hear. Are you trying to correct what the appeal court has said? I mean, this verdict has been ruled in your favor, which actually said that the result of Maradu should be cancelled and then another fresh election should be ordered. So I think instead of you staying here and talking about what has happened and what has not happened, I think you should start heading home, you and the minister, so that you can prepare for an election. We don't have any issue concerning what has been said. We respect the decision of the court. And I think the here sitting here talking about this, I mean, it's just a mere academic exercise. So please, Mala Yusuf, we go with justice. All the demands you have said, I mean, some have not been approved by, most of them have not been approved by the appeal court. But this has been approved. So we don't have any issue.
Okay, I think we lost that connection. We'll keep working on that one. So those are some of the challenges we're facing now. So he initially said, his opening, that they were shocked and surprised at that ruling, of which, of course, the APC is glad about it. So, but all of them will be going into the election, all the parties that contested. So they will be going back there for those 3 local government areas.
It's interesting that this will not be challenged at the Supreme Court of Nigeria, because it would seem that from what the Chief of Staff has said, it doesn't appear that they intend to go to the Supreme Court. It does appear that instead they're preparing for elections. Is this something that gives you some comfort, or does it make you think that, look, this might not be a good idea after all?
Madam, I can tell you, you hold me responsible. If we are going for election today, we are going to defeat them tomorrow. 100% we are going to defeat them.
So you're happy they're not going to the Supreme Court?
We are happy to go back for Rerun in the 3 local government areas. The people of Nigeria and the citizens will witness what transpired earlier.
Okay, let me ask you, Honorable Lugar, just to clarify, because I'd made this assumption based on the response that you had given to Mr. Idris here. I wanted to know if you will be challenging what it is that the Court of Appeal had said in the Supreme Court. Will you be doing that?
Let me tell you, when we get to, assuming we get to the Supreme Court, the verdict will still be the same. What will happen is that the Supreme Court will decide on the judgment of the lower court against vis-a-vis the one of the appeal court. So either way, I think at the end of the day, it is just going to be that there should be a rerun. If the Supreme Court feels the judgment of the lower court should be sustained, then there will be no need for an election. So like I said, we haven't even collected the judgment. The judgment will be collected on Monday. We have applied for it today. So we will sit as a party and take a decision on that. But meanwhile, I keep telling Idris that the crux of the matter is not even the courts. They are used to getting victory at the courts. Go back and talk to the people, the same people that kicked you out of the office. So please, whatever the outcome may be, the ultimate winner should be Zamfara people and not a few select people like they're used to getting. They're used to getting verdicts from they have never won an election. So basically, we're not scared of elections. We're ready. And then if it gets to that, we will do that. But the decision to go to Supreme Court or not will be taken when His Excellency is ready to do that, but not before. So, yeah, that is the position.
Honorable Uga, the difference in that election is about a little over 65,000 thereabout. So why are you so confident? Because he equally is confident that when they get back, they will win. So why do you think that if you go for that rerun, you will go back to the government house with victory?
Because like you rightly said, figures don't lie. The difference between our election and theirs is that we are leading them with about 65,000 votes. So now, if Maradin is cancelled, that will reduce their 24 and it will reduce our 12. So we'll still be leading them by about 70,000 votes. In the other places that the election did not take place because of insecurity, we will beat them. We will beat them fair and square. So I don't even see what they're challenging. We still have a lot of gap that they have not been able to fill. I don't know where they're getting their confidence. And let me tell you, Idris, I don't know what you're relying on because you seem to think it's only the military that can win. I hope you're not thinking. You're not thinking what I'm thinking. You're thinking. Be very careful about dragging institutions into this kind of thing. You have lost popularity. You should admit it. So basically, whatever the case may be, this election is about Zamfara people. Zamfara people will still decide. Idris, you don't have a chance to win an election in Zamfara. You know that, and I know that. So stop deceiving people.
Honorable Uga, speaking about the people, because, I mean, the country knows that security concerns, and we're trying to see how we can ensure that every part of this country is rid of any security threat whatsoever. We know the peculiar challenges Zamfara has got. So do you think the people will be confident to come out and vote? And what role do you think security or insecurity will play in these elections?
Well, like I said, we are hopeful that with the effort His Excellency has done, security has returned relatively in some areas. It is not in our interest for some areas not to be able to participate in the election. But this question should also be directed to Idris because right now it is his boss that is running the Ministry of Defense. How are they prepared to give protection for our people to come out to vote? They seem to be confident. When they kill a few bandits, they come out and they said Matawale is working as Minister of Defense. When there's a little incident, and then it's the fault of the governor. Let us clearly understand whose responsibility is it to protect the lives of innocent people in the villages. So please, it is entirely up to them. If they think the situation warrants peace that we should be able to sit to go out for election, then we should. So we don't have any doubt that at the end of the day, the federal government will take decision that will be in the interest of the people.
Yeah, Yusuf Idris, is that right? I mean, when some bandits are killed, you thumb the chest of the military, and then when certain things go wrong, you blame the governor.
They should go and face what they're supposed to face now. He promised people of the states, in some quarters, saying they are going to provide enough security. Announced this, we have never witnessed a wasn't period of spate of killings, bloodlettings, kidnapping, and other things like now. Within the period of 6 months, if you can't go to Zamfara State, most of the town and villages were destroyed totally, and some deserted their communities, coming to the cities, looking for shelters and what have you. And what the federal government is doing if you move now from Kaduna to Abuja, when you go to part of Zamfara state, you see a heavy presence of security personnel within the road and within the communities.
So if all of those devastation happened under the watch of the current president, you know, terrorism is under the purview, the military takes very strong stance on that one. Does it mean then that they're not winning the battle?
See, you should understand the difference between the role of the president and the role of the governor. The president is in charge of the entire country's security. The governor is the chief security of his state. Where he requests the support of the Mr. President, the Mr. President will support him directly or indirectly, in whatever capacity.
Mr. Yusuf, I mean,
what I'm saying here...
Is there any governor in this country that will just sit back and not request the federal government or the military to ensure they root out any bandits in their states?
But the current governor in Zamfara state, he is even fighting the federal government effort in tackling the insecurity.
How?
In many areas.
Exactly. For instance,
he's accusing the federal government, saying it's got into negotiation, which is lie. The federal government is taking all bold steps to ensure...
Did he say he does not want the military to help in rooting out bandits in Zamfara state?
Maybe you are not conversant with his statement.
Could you just answer? Did he say so?
He said it many times. He said he's going to use his own personnel he's going to employ within the state.
All right, let's go to Honorable Luga. Honorable Luga, maybe if you also need to respond to that. So tell us now, what has there been successes recorded by the current government in Zamfara state?
Of course, there has been successes. Let me tell you, the main policy thrust of this administration, that is the administration of Dr. Lawal, is zero tolerance for bandits. We refuse to negotiate as has been done before by the previous administration. We all know there was a time that bandits were lords in Zamfara. They dictated what goes on. We felt that we will not cede any part of Zamfara to any bandit. So we made His Excellency made categorical assessment to the effect that bandits, he will fight bandits to finish. There's no negotiation whatsoever. So I find it very, very nauseating that Idris will sit and talk about, what has happened to villages and entire villages being wiped, and he's looking at it as if it's a that problem. It is a Zamfara problem, Idris. Nobody celebrates failure in security situation. Stop making it as a political tool, Idris. Come back home. Let us solve this problem. We have reached out to the Minister of Defense to help us. Come, let us talk about it. Forget political differences. Our people are suffering. People are dying, Idris. And you sit here making cheap political points about people being killed.
Honorable Luga, if I may interrupt, I wish you would just address the issue and not address him directly, because he hasn't addressed you directly.
I will address it.
He's spoken to the issues.
When I address Idris, I address him as a young brother. Nothing, no offense meant. I'm sorry, Idris. Now, let me tell you to the audience. His Excellency is up and doing. That's Governor Dauda. He is doing all he can to ensure that normalcy is being returned to Zamfara. That's what we promise of our people, and that is what we're giving them. Now, like I said, we need a lot of support from the federal government. We have a minister from Zamfara State who is also the state minister. What we're looking at from him is total support and nothing else. By now, we expect him to be in Zamfara, just like he has visited over some places. We're still waiting and hoping that he will make it to Zamfara so that we can be able to sit as a family and look at how these menace can be arrested. So basically, to answer the question is, we are doing all we can day and night to ensure people are able to sleep with their 2 eyes closed in Zamfara. That is the best we can do, and that is what we have been doing.
All right, gentlemen. I mean, it won't be good for the people to get the impression that politicians going at each other and then the people suffer at the end of the day. So if the Minister of State for Defense, who is former governor, and also will be vying for this 3 local government areas election as well as the PDP, it won't be good for people to get the impression that they're bickering and then the people are suffering, because that is a scenario, people may get that sense listening to both of you. But we do hope that at the end of the day, politicians, both parties or all parties vying for the election, do what they can to ensure that politics does not get in the way of the safety of lives and property in Zamfara State at the end of the day, because I think that is the most important thing for the people. That's why they want to elect whoever is or they consider better to do the job for them. So that is what we're trying to pass across to everyone listening. But we do thank both of you for coming on. Honorable Mukhtar Luga, Chief of Staff to Zamfara State and Chairman PDP Zamfara State, as well as Yusuf Idris, Publicity Secretary APC Zamfara State. Thank you both, and all the best to both of you.
Thank you very much. Have a nice morning.
All right, we will be back in a moment. Stay on with us.